Boy, we are going to have a lot to talk about here on Sportswire Radio tonight, especially if you like blood, you like guts, you like barbed wire, you like light tubes, you like thumbtacks, and you like who knows whatever else. Because, well, we've got a controversial one. And no, not some of the other controversial ones, and definitely not a controversy person because he was here on Thursday's show. But we're going to get into a man, and obviously, I think a nightmare. I know Naomi nightmare is going to be around maybe who knows what, but obviously we'll just keep it to the controversial one for now because he's got a lot to talk about because you've seen him in some really big places, especially after what happened at Deadly Collision. We'll get into that. What about that All Wrestling Matters hardcore tournament? He went all the way to the finals. And what about, like I said, that Carnage Cup with Neil Diamond Cutter? And what's next for the controversial one? What's next for our BMF hardcore champion? We'll get into it, plus who knows, whatever else. Some usual suspects will be here, I'm sure, to talk about with you and me. And I'll talk about maybe what's going on with El Brujo. What's going on with that injury of his? I almost should ask. Maybe I shouldn't ask. But we'll get into it, Anthem, because we are here, after all, in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters here. And we're going to certainly be on the right side of history when it comes to talking with our guest here. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a hot minute since he's been here. So now let's give him that introduction, because if I don't give him that introduction, well, let's just say he might put me through a few light tubes. He might put me through some barbed wire. He might put me through some tables and maybe sprinkle in a little bit of thumbtacks. And we certainly don't want that. Let him go try and do that to Jimmy Controversy. So it's time now to give our guest that introduction. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, the number one cable sports show, a man that has an appetite for destruction, a controversial one. You've seen him up and down the hardcore and the deathmatch wrestling scene. He is the reigning, defending BMF hardcore champion. His name is, simply put, the controversial one. The champ is here. Champ, how are we doing?
I'll tell you right now, I'm sore, but I'm still kicking and I'm still pushing forward.
You're always going to be kicking. Listen, I know you put your body through so much. You've been here a bunch of times, but you don't know any other way, Kato. Let's be honest. You don't know any other way.
True. I mean, I live my life on the edge every day. So whether it be wrestling or my family lifestyle, we just don't take it for granted and just keep moving forward.
That's all you can do. Listen, one step at a time. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. But I guess that you can look at it on the bright side. At least your eyes are doing better than El Brujo's.
I know. Wow. True.
You know, at least your eyes, you got your two eyes, they're in place. You can fully see me tonight, because poor El Brujo, and that's a man I definitely don't want to be on his bad side, because I've had him on here almost a year ago, and he basically had a gun on the air. So I mean, I know his story. So I definitely I'm surprised he wasn't packing, at Carnage Cup.
It's crazy, man. My first ever Carnage Cup.
I know
And
we talked about that a couple months ago in ULS. It was a big, busy past few months for you. You know, All Wrestling Matters hardcore tournament. You go to the finals. You're here in the Carnage Cup. Masada's there. You got Bryant Woods. I mean, some really big things. Jimmy Controversy. Of course, I'm not going to ask you about that whole thing with Jimmy Controversy in the body, but I mean, it was a slew. Mickey Knuckles, Tommy Trainwreck. I mean, some big names here in the Carnage Cup, and you finally, it seems like, arrived more.
oh, all right, there we go. Lost you for a second. So yeah, let's just start it off with All Wrestling Matters hardcore tournament.
Absolutely. I could definitely put that up on the screen in a minute, and very successful and kind of going in chronological events. Absolutely. No question that we'll definitely do that. We're obviously very happy to have Kato here first, and definitely we'll see for sure. But let's put that up because I actually have it here on the screen. Let me pull it up here. We are here on Sportswire Radio. There we go. I think I have the wrong. There we go. I got it right here. All right. So let's go. Let's push forward here. I'm going to go for, let's see. Let's go in chronological order first, because there was a man that obviously you have some history with on this platform that obviously you were supposed to wrestle. You finally did. So let me go like this. Let's take this up. We'll go into somebody first I want to get your opinion on, because you wrestled here a man that I've actually mentioned here quite a bit, Christopher Black on Sportswire Radio. I really thought that was going to do really well in the tournament, a really interesting guy. And for those that are listening and watching here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, let's recap, Kato, the controversial one, your experience here and, your opponent's experience there in the All Wrestling Matters hardcore tournament.
So Chris, he's talented, man. I mean,
great talent. Great talent, and you definitely put him through the ringer.
He's got a lot to look forward to. Still learning. Very excited guy. I always show up, and I show up, and I have an attitude on my shoulders all the time. Sometimes that helps me. Sometimes that doesn't. But Chris gave me his all, man, and fortunately, I really just had to take it to him, man. I mean, that long hair kind of was getting on my nerves.
Well, that's why, thank God, Kato, I'm not wrestling you, because I would have not. But of course, it wouldn't be a sentence without this individual, that a man that we know all too well on this platform.
So there's been a few little jabs here and there between me and Mac, but lately we kind of have this coexistence together. I don't know what it's called, but it's working. He's not really trying to be a dickhead to me, and
maybe it's a mutual respect, because you guys have in a way kind of been maybe in some senses in each other's ways, but you can look at it in a controversial way that you guys still really are more or less trying to go for the same thing. So why not more or less at least have a common bond at times, a common bond?
Yeah, and I mean, our common bond is building up slowly but surely.
And Christopher Black, it's his fault what you just did to him in his head.
Oh yeah, man. In fact, let me go on record and say this. I personally apologize to Musada.
Apologize to Musada. Why?
Well, because I know that a lot of people take the skewer spot, and it's most of the time when he's on the show. Even though he wasn't there, I still use skewers. So I just had to be a man and apologize to him and say, hey, I was using that for a while, but I made it work. I made it fit in, and I made sense out of it. So I hope you're not mad. And he was like, no, I'm okay. He's like, I just get mad when motherfuckers constantly use my shit.
Well, Masada is obviously for a good reason why you might want to put an apology out there. But Christopher Black, an up and coming competitor. I mean, maybe we'll see him down the road. Who knows? But we appreciate that. But Mackie Boy, definitely, we will certainly see, I'm sure. But let's fast forward a little bit, because there's another match that you're going to be into here, and I want to pull it up here coming up. I think we're here. All right, so we're here. Obviously, there was Justin Abel saying, well, I'm not going to ask you about him, but there'll be something else that relates to a man that's always a frequent topic on this platform, who was here last week, and there'll be for good reason why we'll talk about him, and I'm sure you'll definitely want that. But actually, Robo Stoner is a guy that a really up and coming guy. Also seen him a lot in WTW. You get a chance to talk to Robo Stoner at all? A guy I've really been intrigued about the last couple months, trying to actually get him onto Sportswire. But what's your thoughts on Robo Stoner while we were watching him there briefly?
Honestly, everyone in that crew pretty much worked their butts off, man. I mean, they get my respect. Um, with a couple of exceptions that happened, I think because I'm not gonna talk about it. It's not my business. I don't care. But with a few exceptions, for the most part, everybody else was totally good. They were focused. And the greatest part was being a veteran now, to tell them more sides of the story, to give them their feedback, to help them out, to give them guidance. It was really cool, man, because they all sat there and took it all in.
Let me ask you that. You said something interesting here. You were the veteran of this show, and this is obviously a lot of guys who were younger, up and comers from different places across the Northeast mainly. Did you get a chance to talk with some of these guys and maybe provide your own insight?
In fact, yeah. Chris Black, I basically told him, he's got a good look.
Yep.
Just don't give up. I basically also reiterated how wrestling can be up and down. Don't let that affect your life. Try not to bring so much personal drama into wrestling, because it just creates bigger chaos. And
we've had that the last couple of days outside of this, and it's like we need to move on.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, a lot of guys kind of have an attitude on their shoulders, and again, a lot of the younger guys now, within 5 years or so of being in the business, they kind of got that chip on their shoulders, like, hey, I can do whatever I want, and that's not the case.
But
promoters promote the show. Oh shit, yeah. Jimmy and I, he was surprised for me.
Yeah, good old Jimmy, who usually doesn't show up to these kind of places, but he's here. He's just here for whatever reason, and he's going right after you, Jimmy Controversy.
Well, I basically told him, you show up anywhere, anytime, I'm going to fight you.
Well, you did fight him. You definitely did. And you came into his territory practically, and he did a few things to you that you just did to Christopher Black we just saw about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, he's putting them skewers in my head, man. Fortunately, he didn't get them all stuck like I do.
Well, Jake Dvorak found that out in Buffalo a couple of weeks ago. But, obviously, Jimmy's getting off to a quick start, and we're watching Jimmy Controversy in a treat here. But we'll get into the treat at the end here when we watch this match. I mean, boy, he's really laying into you there. He's really.
I do got to say this.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to give Jimmy credit. Not too many people actually give him credit. He's got an eager mind that he just wants to keep driving. Sometimes he needs to learn to shut his mouth. Maybe I wouldn't have to stick him in it much, but he's learning. He's progressing. Jimmy's a great guy outside of this business.
Oh, everybody that comes on this platform would say the complete opposite about that.
I'll tell you right now. So, my face, at least as far as I know, Jimmy and I have really ended our squash. We ended the beef.
But that chair really, unfortunately squashed your head there.
Yeah, he still wants to continue on some beef, though, because he did approach me at Carnage Cup and wanted to fight. So,
well, he had a thing with the body that maybe at least you weren't in the same spot, at least.
No, I mean,
I'm
Unfortunately,
not going to repeat that, and I can't show it on Sportswire. Let's just put it that way.
no, man, I don't even know what to say about that. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna leave it at
let's
that.
say nothing on that. But Jimmy Controversy is trying to get you to stay down, and that's not working.
Nah, and that bastard gave me a shot to my ear.
Well, that's got to
I don't
hurt.
know. I don't know if you caught that, but yeah, he got me in the ear.
I'll play it again for the audience. We'll go right back here. We'll go like this. Let's see here. Did we go? No, we'll go a
Oh,
little
too
faster.
bad.
I think we got it right somewhere around here. We'll go right. We'll go back to it. We'll watch it closely. Because that, nah, I think you got hit in the head. At least your hand blocked some of the blunt force
I'm
trauma.
talking.
I think that's the shot right there, right? Was that the shot where you got hit in the ear?
I think it might be when I'm sitting up.
Well, you're sitting up, but he's putting a chair to you, and even Power Surge is looking at it like, "Oh, let's go here." We'll talk about him. We're gonna definitely get with him for sure. But there you go.
So,
You're getting suplexed.
yeah, yeah. Actually, I think it was on the ground when I
That's
was
what I
on there.
thought. It looked like you got clubbed in the ear, side of the ear. That's what I thought. But you are at least getting up and just what you do. You're controversial. What else are you supposed to do? Controversy versus controversial. I mean, doesn't get any more
You know,
controversial than that.
I think showing up in his hometown, he got a little pissed off, and I basically had to prove to him that you don't own New York.
Well, it's funny you said that because you come all the way from the other side of the country and you come up into basically his backyard, his territory, and you're taking the offense to Jimmy Controversy.
Yeah, I mean, I gave it to him just as much as he did to me, and the better man always turns out the winner.
Were you on adrenaline? Were you on a high?
Um,
Just because again, you had a big travel. I mean, we spoke before the show itself, and you had it took you a long time to get this. So going into this, you had to be exerted already to begin with. So you must have been going through a lot of emotions, and adrenaline must have been fueling you to get through and to do as well as you did.
yeah, a 16 and a half hour trip
Wow.
was
I do
was
an hour and I do an
insane.
hour and a half, and I cry uncle.
Yeah, I mean it. We were exhausted. Um, there was some time issues that occurred at the show, but all in all, everything still went off as good as it can. But it was so exhausting when I got there. I was ready to go. I was ready to kick ass and just fight for my life.
And that's
Um,
gonna hurt Jimmy Controversy. Let me just say that. That
oh
was
yeah,
like, whoa. I don't know if I've seen that before. Just the way that pile driver was in thin air, more or less, literally. And
I
you're
don't. I really never do that move. Couple of reasons. I don't like holding them up very long. Obviously because of all the injuries that people have sustained
yeah.
from them.
Yeah,
But
WWE even years ago actually banned the pile driver for a little while.
yeah, now here we are doing a chop fest.
Chop Suey to quote System of a Down. Wake up! Kato and Jimmy Controversy are hitting each other with some chops. Wake up! Jimmy Controversy and Kato. It's controversy versus controversial. You want to. What you want to see is Jimmy Controversy versus Kato. All Wrestling Matters Hardcore Tournament. You want to. That was really controversial. Jimmy Controversy does something that we will be not to see. It's carnage. I could do it, but I don't want to take away your spotlight. Jimmy was,
I just think that when I do a version of the pile driver. I do the package. What was that? The package pile driver. So I
yeah.
basically I'll lift them up in the air off my stomach and thigh.
I
So
thought,
that way,
Kato, you got to watch what Jimmy's about to try to do to you. You got to watch this.
oh, that bastard.
You know what this reminds me? When I was growing up in Brooklyn, that we had like this, we played wiffle ball, and there was this almost looked like an ivy looking kind of fence there, and you would go and hit the ball. Sometimes you'd hit it over the fence, and you could jump down. It's actually what Jimmy just basically reminded me of my childhood memories on 4th Avenue in Brooklyn. But we'll not talk about that. But that definitely hurt you, Kate. I don't know how you're standing. That's to be the biggest controversy of all. How are you still standing?
Pure adrenaline, man. I mean, I I I have no quit in my body.
And
Even
and
when I'm down.
and you got an insurance policy, Jim, and Naomi, who's been mixing it up more and more. Every time I watch, Naomi first comes on. Oh, what do you think about getting involved now? Maybe we should put her in the Carnage Cup in the old Wrestling Matters Hardcore tournament. And then we see, well, it always revolves around him. It always revolves around.
I'll tell you right now, I was confused as hell on what was going on.
You are.
I did not know Mac was coming out. Shocked the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I did forget to use my beautiful taser that I brought. But Mac kind of woke me up a little bit. He shocked me, and I was like, "What the hell are you doing, man?" And obviously, he's cutting teeth with him. He's pretty much putting him in the garbage.
Well, we're gonna get to that, and there's Mackie Boy, and boy, Mackie Boy just lifted him like there's no tomorrow. There's no tomorrow.
Mac's a beast, man. I got to give it to Mac. He is, for not working out a lot. He's a strong individual.
Well, he puts his body through so much that he's just naturally a big physical guy. I guess that's the best way I could explain. I don't know. What else am I supposed to say? I mean, he's Mac 10. What am I going to say? He's not strong. He's the landlord of the platform. You know what I'm saying. I don't have to explain it to you. You've seen it firsthand. You've wrestled the man. But there is good old Mackie Boy, and he's smiling there, and that's obviously working for you. And there
and
it
I
was.
tased him, and I tased Jimmy.
Yeah, there it was, and you found a way so far, and good old Mackie Boy is just walking away as if nothing happened, and there you are, still not even sure how you're able to get up there, and you're just nodding the head. And we want to thank our friends at NEW, by the way, for allowing us the footage. We thank them for their support of Sportswire Radio, and obviously, you're a happy man. You're a happy man.
I was exhausted by this match.
You look like it.
I didn't even think, to be honest, coming there, my expectations were, I'm just gonna go out there and do my best, and whatever happens, happens. And good thing for me is I got all the way to the finals. Shitty part is I didn't win, but the matches pretty much were solid. I mean,
the show was unbelievable. I mean, you want to talk about, I watched the show live. You're talking about there was 30 plus people on the live stream at one point. You're talking about 1.5, 1.6 views, whatever it was. And, you were a huge part of it. You were a guy, again, came in from Resurrection, similar to D'Angelo the Flame. He goes to the finals. You go to the finals. Resurrection represents, as always, we love Resurrection. And there's, Jimmy Controversy. It just, he's just wondering what happened there. What happened?
Jimmy loves to run his mouth, and
what else is new?
Sometimes it works out for him. Sometimes, on the other hand, you just got to get chin checked once in a while,
Well, he gets it a lot, and do you think he should change course? Maybe he should change the direction of what what he should be doing there. And he's just looking up there before. I'm going to get to the chat in a minute, but there is Jimmy, and looks like he's going for a bath. Definitely a bath that might be a toxic bath. Wait a minute, there's Kato, the controversial one, and definitely Jimmy Controversy is going to wake up. He's going to wake up in a toxic bath of water. Here comes Kato in that time. You want to see him do it again. You wanted to. There you think is Jimmy Controversy in some toxic water from Massachusetts now. Maybe he won't run his mouth anymore. No.
Now the whole thing about it was, I guess, there was beef still with him and Mackie Boy.
Well, that's been going on for a long time. That's been going on.
Yeah. Jimmy just doesn't shut his mouth, so Mac had to shut it for him.
Well, we that's kind of how it goes there. But obviously we're watching some of the replay, and big win for you. Big win, continues the momentum. We'll definitely recap some of it in a minute. We're going to watch the replay, and I'll get to some of the people in the chat, because you got some people that want to talk to you, and I got some friends of mine that are specifically here at a rather very late time in the UK, so I have to get them. But there's the bath. Jimmy Controversy took a toxic bath, but we'll definitely take this and pause it for a minute. and we'll then go
I
like
do.
this.
I
Yes,
do
sir.
gotta say, the UK, you guys are amazing.
Oh, I
And
love the UK.
sooner or later, I would love to be out there and work.
Well, you're
And
in
it's
luck.
gonna,
You're in luck. I'm going to tell you why you're in luck, because Friday, which is 3 o'clock Eastern time, 8 o'clock UK time, I'm doing my first UK wrestling segment in about 5 months with my friends in Colory Championship Wrestling. We're supporting a show to help out with autism, and I'm going to make sure that I mention that. I'm going to mention it to the owner, James Barris. Mr. Barris is going to be here live with a slew of the CCW counterparts, like to Resurrection, some other promotions. So you're in luck, Kato. I'm going to make sure that I mention you and a lot of other people. But speaking of the UK, I have to get in, say hello here to maybe my biggest supporter, my biggest champion, who I think might even be in Nigeria right now, the legendary Luke Leyland. Mr. Leyland is a man that has meant a lot. He has been my moral compass. There's been a lot of different things that we've been going through the last couple of days, but he's the one that obviously has been the one, my guiding light. He is the one that got me basically a lot of the support I have today, 1,400 plus views on YouTube. He's a man, the only person outside of Africa to have fought in Dambe, basically Africa's version of UFC, and he likes my sing. I have no idea why he's up in here, but he is a great man, and we love Luke Leyland. Just we need more people like Luke Leyland in the world. So thank you, Luke, for everything you've done for me
thank
the
you,
last
Luke.
years. We love Luke. Luke, we wish we had more Lukes in the world. I tell you that much. But let me get to the chat here before Luke really doesn't want to tune in anymore. Zilla's in the house. Have you met Zilla? I think you've met Zilla before, right? You've met Zilla before in Sportswire? I think
She
so.
jumped. She jumped on a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah, she's here every night. Zilla, I tell people all the time, Zilla should take over on Sportswire. Zilla should be the one that takes over here. But obviously, we'll say hello to her. Yes, hello to Naomi. And I think Naomi is going to be in Carnage Cup next year. That's what I learned from what I've seen. Naomi is definitely going to be in Carnage Cup. And yes, there you go. She knows Kato. There you go. Kato is back on Sportswire. You're right. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Abraham Storm. How you doing? How you doing, Naomi? Please don't hit me with light tubes. I know there's a lot of people that might want to hit me with light tubes, but please don't hit me with light tubes. Abraham Storm is in the house. He was really excited about you this game. One of my buddies just had a great show in North Carolina, Champions Collide. Big fan of yours. Then there's this guy here who I guess seems to be trying to make a name with other people. He had a few things to say about Bobby Brady. His name is Vegas Storm, and he was trained by Copper Dragon, and he says much respect to you. That's all. Much respect. Appreciate that. Hello there to Abraham. Xavier Thorne's in the house. He'd like to say hello. Xavier Thorne, how you doing? Hello. Yep. Hello. Mac 10. Well, Mac 10's in spirit. Say hello to him. Also, in spirit, Mackey's always around. He's like Santa Claus. You just don't know when he's here, But Vegas Storm's got a good comment. Let me read it off. Man, this is a lot for you to be able to apologize for something like that. I know the feeling of having to apologize for using somebody else's move once or twice, so I get it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's a sign of respect. I wanted to make sure he knew I was using him in the right way, at the right time, in the right moment. So I think for me, it was a big step up for me, because I'm not really that guy that always asks somebody. I kind of just do it because I can. But
yeah, I'm not going to argue with you, Kato. You're the controversial one. I think you want to do something. I'm going to say, yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Kato. Speaking of people, though, that are fans of yours, but is also a compadre of yours, he's in the great state of Iowa, another veteran in the hardcore deathmatch scene, another buddy of mine who reigns in blood, sends his messages in blood. He is Ox McCoy. Good stuff, Kato. Carnage Cup is a dream of mine. Same with Insane 8. So I don't know if you've met Ox. Ox is a Midwest guy. I don't know if you met Ox before.
I think I met Ox once, but I'm gonna just touch up on something real quick. It's great. Push that goal. Just remember, good places with TV and stuff like that. You'll get paid good. The money's there. Just make sure you don't cut yourself short. That's all I got to say.
Gotcha. Well, that's a good line there. Let's go to some more comments. Yes, hello there. What is the name of the theme song that you? That's a good one. I didn't ask you that yet. What's the theme song you use? I don't even know. Is it custom? I think you have a new song, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, it's I believe it's Controversial Nightmare
I
or
think you know what? Yeah, I think we played it on Sportswire before, so I definitely think that we
Yeah, the custom song.
in fact my buddy who made that custom song is going to be making a couple more things for me. But one's a present and one might be new theme music.
Mm. Well, you know what? We'll appreciate that. If you are here right now, go hit the sub button for our friends at NEW. They're almost at 2,100 subscribers. Go support them, and we'd appreciate it. Drake Golddragon, a man that I'm sure you know very well. He's the Resurrection Wrestling World Champion. Like to say, was up. A man that doesn't have to talk. He just does it in the ring. Um, yeah, Kato versus Vegas Storm in a hardcore match. I don't think Vegas Storm asked for a hardcore match, so I don't know where that's coming from. But where is Mac 10? Good question. Gabe Sayers, hello to him, but he's not here in spirit. He's here in spirit. Same with Jimmy Controversy. Yes, Jake Dvorak. And I didn't know about the ring that has no ropes. Yeah, that was a no ring, no ropes. Yeah, that was what the All Wrestling Matters hardcore tournament was.
Yep, it was actually fun. I mean, to actually wrestle without the ropes um, is one of those things that are unique for hardcore wrestling. That in a way you have to use the ability of your strength and the quickness of yourself to beat your opponent up.
Good point. Good point. Thank you. And yes, it was a very cool pile driver. Thank you, Zillow, for liking my scene. I do appreciate that. Kato was definitely goaded, that's for sure. Mac 10 showing respect to Kato was rather controversial. I definitely agree on that. Much
Yep.
respect to Kato and Naomi. Hello there, Luke. Mac, I'm not going to go that far, but speaking of people that are here, Jim, about you doing that to Jimmy is Ronnie Brady, the West Memphis kid who had a few things to say about hardcore wrestling, and he wants to say, why would you do that to Jimmy Controversy? That's an interesting point. You want to elaborate that and can talk to Mr. Brady himself?
Um, you know, we just had to make a point. Point blank. Sometimes you just got to learn to shut your mouth, especially after you get beat. Bad things happen when you don't shut up. So we unfortunately we had to make our point. This is all that is.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. I got a lot more comments. The UK needs Ronnie Brady. Well, Friday afternoon, I'll mention you, Ronnie. How about that? We'll mention if you're here in the chat, you want to go to the UK, 3 o'clock on Friday Eastern time. I'll mention anybody I got. So let me write this down. Let me write this down now. I got Ronnie Brady. I got Kato to mention. Anybody else that you want me to take notes in? So I'm writing it down. I'm writing it down here. So anybody else wants to go to the UK, we'll handle it now.
I'll
Let's
tell
see
you
here.
what, man. Why don't you do a surprise for old Mackie boy, since he's the landlord of Sportswire.
Is Mackie available? Is he here? Let me get through the comments first. Let me get through the comments first. But I'll send him the link. Well, I'm not surprised. Don't pay attention to. I think he's talking about Xavier Thorne. Kato, I never call you out or disrespect you, Kato. If I call you out, I'd be dealing with the storyline. I'm here to enjoy the show. I love the energy you bring. Okay, appreciate that.
I got you, Vinny.
Yeah, Kato is a certified legend, definitely a certified OG. Yes, and Zilla's in the Hall of Fame. Yes, she is. And yes, CSW will be in the Hall of Fame. Kato will be in the Hall of Fame. We're going to put everybody in the Hall of Fame. That's because you know what? At this point, we should, because there was one man that was giving me problems for 6 months and complained about the Hall of Fame, and we'll just put everybody in the Hall of Fame. So, but that's a different show for a different time. But we thank everybody for your support. But speaking of people, Jack Spade, who's back in Resurrection, returned a Deadly Collision, said Jack Spade challenges you to a drunken death match. Is there such a thing as a drunken death match? I didn't know that existed.
Yes, yes. But I'll tell you right now, I'm born from drinkers. My family's strong drinkers. I drink a lot. I used to, but when I drink, I can drink a lot. So that would be interesting. And I'll tell you what, Spade, I seen some of your work and I like it. Hey, sooner than later.
But you know what? I think Ronnie Brady's got his hands full with Jack Spade, and Jack Spade is going to be dealing with Ronnie Brady for a little while, especially after what we saw at Deadly Collision there, sir.
Yes.
So you don't have to
Most
worry about
definitely.
Jack Spade, the icon, right now. You may be all hail the. It used to be all hail the congregation between Brady and Spade, but I think right now those two are going to be occupied with it. You don't have to worry for now about Jack Spade, but maybe down the road a drunken death match is in the order. Who knows? You'd probably be surprised, but I've never drank in my life.
No, that's good. I mean,
Well,
not a
I,
lot of
I am drinking a
people.
big gulp, though. I am drinking a big gulp.
It's amazing because I cut back a lot.
Sure.
I used to drink a case of beer every day.
Oh, you put what you put your body through, sir. I would be drinking a case or 2 cases, probably.
Well, thank God that the United States of America passed legalization, because now I do is gummies and vape pens.
Well, whatever makes you happy, sir. I'm going to certainly say if you're happy, then I'm happy. So you do what you want. You put your body through all that stuff and go 16 and a half hours somewhere. Yeah, you could do what you want, Kato. It's not controversial for you to do it. Also, Xavier Thorne does want to say, though, he actually acknowledges you. And yeah, you're definitely amazing. And who knows? Maybe AEW's in the works. I mean, you never know. Anything is possible. MLW. I mean, Tarzan Duran's been in MLW. I mean, Tarzan Duran wrestled Jacob Fatu last year. You just never know out there. You just never know. But a lot of people want to talk to you still. Understood, Kato. Thank you. Yes, Naomi is back. We love Naomi on Sportswire Radio. We love Jack Spade. And ask about me. We just did. We just did ask about
Yeah.
you. What do you want me to say? What else do you want me to say? What else should I say? Am I missing something? Well,
Jack, when you're done with Ronnie, we can go at it. It's cool. Hey, friendly competition, drunken death match. I'm game.
Well, we want to definitely see that. But okay, well, I'll bring Mac on, but I want to play the finals in the All Wrestling Matters. So let's play the finals, and we'll go to Mac in a minute. But also, if you are here, hit the sub button for our friends in NEW. They've been very gracious to allow us to use the footage, so we want to make sure that we go out there and support them, especially for their coverage and bringing here. Yesterday, we had Stefan Havoc on, who obviously has been a big part of things in the hardcore deathmatch scene. Also, he talked about going to NEW. So let's go to the tape. Let's go back to the All Wrestling Matters hardcore tournament. And I'm going to go fast forward here to the finals, because obviously I want to talk about a man that you definitely have, I'm sure, something to say with in the surge, the power surge. I mean, we talked about him when you were here last. We talked about him as a name. You basically said, step up. You weren't afraid. But what's it like now in the flesh in the wound, seeing what the power surge, the one and only surge, has to offer here?
I mean, he's a beast. The guy literally has a great physique.
I think he has a better physique than WWE guys. I mean, no joke.
Yeah. I was a little thrown off. I was tired as shit.
I would imagine.
Wrestling 3 matches prior to him was exhausting. So, needless to say, I mean, I wanted to do so much more. But he understands certain things, and he gets where things need to be placed, and he's going to be something in the future. He's going to be a world champion somewhere, and that's a lot for me to say to somebody.
But he's, a man that he's got it all, really. But you're here and you've went through so much to get to this moment, and it's going to be a classic. It's going to be a hell of a match, one for the ages. We saw it. We're going to get a chance to watch it here right now. And I mean, you're here, and you got to just take everything you've got and just throw it out there and do the best you can against this man. What's his strategy going into this? 3 matches in, you're going into it, a 4th match. What's the strategy, if there is one at all?
Honestly, I was trying to play smart. In the beginning, I obviously shook his hand. But I also was trying to play mind games with him. Just trying to psych him out a little bit. But I wanted to have fun with it as well. There was a $1 bill in the ring, and I asked him, hey, do you want to split it? You get 50 cents, I'll take 50 cents.
Well, if there's anybody that could figure it out, it's you two guys.
Yeah, I mean these lockups were strong as hell.
Oh, I'm sure that these lockups were like almost anything else anybody else has put you through. You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, I've been through the ringer with some big beasts.
Oh,
I
for
mean,
sure. Your career, you've been doing this a long time. You are the veteran in this show. You are the guy that's put your body through more than anybody else. So you know you've been through the wars.
yeah, I think I was overexhausted working those 3 matches, then getting to Power Surge. I'd like to see what we could do on a one-on-one match without a tournament.
So if you were at full strength, haven't wrestled any matches going in, he hasn't wrestled any matches going in, could be a totally different outcome, you think?
I think so. I think it would be one hell of a war.
Would you have been
Maybe,
able to prepare differently if it's a neutral environment? You're at 100%, he's at 100%. Because again, you've been here, 16 and a half hours to get there. The day is going on here. You're talking about an all-day event, 4 or 5 hours in, whatever it is, and then you're the finals.
yeah, I mean, the outcome I believe would be a lot better. Personally speaking, in my from my experience, I would love to have taken that time, got bypassed all the way to the finals, and saved my energy for him. Uh, I just was, I was worn out. I was beat up, and you know, he's a big guy, and he was throwing these punches at me and almost rocked me a couple times.
Well, any other man would be dead from his punches. I've said this many times on the show. I've had him here flesh in the wound. So, but
Yeah,
you're getting
there
back
we
up.
go. We knocked each other out.
I don't know how you did what you did. I just don't know how you did what you did. But we're watching the match here, and he's, it's interesting because part of me thinks you could have actually had an advantage because the Surge, this isn't really his cup of tea. Do you feel in maybe a way you could have had an advantage here despite what you went through? Because this isn't his style. This isn't his forte. You know what I'm saying? You're more of the hardcore deathmatch expert. And we see there that the Surge, well, he had a surge of thumbtacks put through his body.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to go back and redo that match, I would have used a little bit more tricks out of my book. Um, I would have used more out thinking him. I definitely would have beat him down with some more weapons. Now that the weapons are coming into play, I would have loved to use a lot more. But again, being so exhausted, it took a toll on me. And hey, I did what I had to do. And unfortunately, you see the TV coming into play right now. That was the first big weapon of that match.
And let's just say that nobody will be watching us here on TV right now.
Yeah, I pretty much drop kicked that TV right into his face and broke it.
To quote, what's the first video in MTV history? Video killed the radio star. Video killed the Surge. Let's just go with that. I think Mr.
funny,
Hardcore, who's in the chat, would get that reference. You probably did. Everybody else is like, boy, what am I talking about? But
yeah, the younger guys won't.
I know. Well, I see. I'm a music savant. I tried out for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire years ago. But let me ask you this question as we're watching the match here. Have you watched this match back since it took place?
Yes, I watched it twice already.
And how do you look at it watching it back each time? We're watching it now. You've watched it since. How do you look back on the match?
Honestly, I'm a very picky person about myself, about things that I do or maybe that I should have did. So I constantly replay through my mind, like, man, maybe I should have did this instead of this. All in all, though, from what I did, it was an impact and it was fun.
That was fun swinging that, but unfortunately you didn't connect. But the Surge is about to connect there on just you're a big guy and he just throws you like a rag doll. I just find that so fascinating. You're a strong, big guy, and he just throws you like it's the 4th of July fireworks.
Yeah, I mean, he's got about good solid 50 pounds over me. I mean, I'm 170, so he's what, 220 or something like that?
Oh, I feel like he's so much bigger than that. He looks like I know it's YouTube. I think he's got to be 240, and he's all muscle. He's like the one guy I watch that comes on my platform. I've interviewed a lot of pro guys. I just had a pro wrestler on yesterday, right? Who's from Pennsylvania, and he's like I think your weight, 170. I'm gonna have one of these British wrestlers on Friday again, and I think he's maybe one or two wrestlers in my career I've interviewed, I would say that are as built or bigger than him. That's a lot. That's a lot for me to say.
My technique was to try to use my wrestling knowledge instead of hardcore knowledge. Try to out wrestle him a little bit and then beat him down.
Right. Because you are the veteran, that's where your veteran expertise comes in there. And you're going to use your instincts to be able to propel you into the match. That's really the only thing that you can do, and otherwise to win. But he's the Surge. That's why they call him the Surge.
Yeah, when he's got that boost of energy, boy, he fucking goes to town.
Well, look at what he just did to you just then. What you've went through. I mean, this has to be numb. You must be feeling all of this, and it's just like, I don't know. You just be numb to the pain. You're comfortably numb. Well, not comfortably numb. That would be maybe not, but you definitely numb. Let's just put it that way, and that definitely hurts. That was the end. That was all she wrote.
I had a moment of clarity there. It was an emotional roller coaster for me that night. To go in the ring and try to out wrestle somebody and to add in hardcore wrestling, because I know that's not his wheelhouse. He got the best of me, and I had to show him some love. There was
I could tell between you and him there was a mutual respect. It wasn't like what we saw with Jimmy Controversy just before. It wasn't, there wasn't any of that. There was none of that. There was you and him was like there was a mutual respect because, again, you were two warriors out there, two veterans. He's a veteran in his own right. He's been at this over a decade. He's not a rookie himself. This is a guy that's put himself into a position to be a feared talent. He's a wrestler. He's a pro wrestler like you. He's a trained wrestler. He's also a trained, fitness guy, bodybuilder. So this is a guy that may not be his expertise, but he really respected you.
Yeah, it was a mutual respect at the end of this. I would love to see him thrive at other places. Hopefully he does soon. Here's the mutual respect. That's shaking. It was crazy. It was crazy. Him actually going through it and taking some of the hardcore style wrestling and adapting to it. It was good that he did.
But it showed class. It showed that we don't talk about that all too often in our sport. We hear all about these different things, all this negativity. But look at what you guys did. Look at what you put your bodies through. And to have that moment where everybody came together, it didn't matter who you were. It didn't matter where you wrestled from. You guys put yourselves through so much. At the end of the day, you're just competitors. And you're all winners. You're all winners.
With the trip and everything, it all came so clear at the end of it. There it is, speaking right there. I mean,
well, I'll keep it up for a minute before Mac we'll send him the link in a few minutes. But that's
what it's all about, man. I mean, I wanted to go out there, bust my ass, do hardcore death match, and prove that I can still wrestle and still hang in there.
You did, man. You did. You showed that you're a somebody and that you've really come a long way. And maybe it didn't it should have happened earlier in your career, but like you're a fighter and that's all you know. It reminds me of a line. I worked in the world of politics, and one of the lines that one of my former employers would use about one candidate, he always said this: a guy that was a fighter in our community, a guy that grew up on our streets, was raised on our streets, and he made a difference. And that's what you're doing, Kato, right now. You're a guy that grew up in the streets, was in our community, and is going out there and traveling to all these places. I talk about you in Kansas. I talk about you Wisconsin in the past. We see you in Massachusetts. Look what you've done in Resurrection. We saw you at Carnage Cup in Alabama. It may have took you a long time to get to the dance, but you're here and you're making the most of it. And I think that's what counts. That's what All Wrestling Matters is about. People talk about all the time. Some people say all wrestling matters. This not true. They don't say all wrestling matters and mean it. No. Kato is a guy, as an example, that is doing what all wrestling matters is. NEW, Resurrection are companies that are doing what all wrestling matters. Because here's a guy like Kato that's been at this for so long. Here's Naomi right behind his side. Look at what she's doing. They're going out there and they're telling people that this is what wrestling and why it matters. This is all wrestling matters. And this is why we're here every night. And we talk about the good. We talk about what's going on. Despite what some people might say is fake news. The facts are is that we're here every night with so many people from so many places. And this is all wrestling matters. And Kato, who drove 16 and a half hours all the way to go compete in this tournament in Worcester, Massachusetts. He hadn't been to this place. He drove his body, his wife to the other side of the country. And here's what he did. He showed people that, you know what? I want to pay attention to what Kato has to say. I want to see where he's going. And this is, to me, an example of all wrestling matters. You may not have won that tournament, but you are a winner because you showed the people, to the world, that you're a fighter and you're always going to be where it's wrestling and it matters.
I want to add on to that because that was great. I think when people think about hardcore and deathmatch and backyard wrestling, the underground scene, I think people don't really understand it or comprehend it. The guys in the underground scene are busting their ass just as hard as the guys
I had
who
Havoc on yesterday, just like you, veteran guy, Buffalo, traveling all over the place. I've known this guy a while. Underground guys go out there, and it's real. It's real. I say it all the time. It's real, Kato.
Yeah, I mean, the underground scene doesn't get the respect it should, and I understand some of the points, but for the most part, people need to learn how to respect it and just thrive on watching it. If people out there have not watched an underground scene, please do so, because I'm telling you, these guys work just as freaking hard as I did going into wrestling at other promotions and wrestling in venues. These guys bust their ass just to put on a good show, and they don't get enough credit. So I give them all the credit in the world. Fortunately, I wish I did that when I was younger and learned my underground scene prior to doing all this. But in the long run, it worked out. I'm back. I'm loving what I'm doing now. I'm having fun. And it doesn't get any better than that.
But you're here. You know what, though? You're here at least. Yeah, sure. Could things have been different? Of course. There's always what ifs. There's always regrets. But you're here. You're here and you're making the most of it. You're making the most of that impact. And that's why we're here talking with Kato, the controversial one. Let me get to a few people before I go to my next item of business for the next 20 or so minutes, 30 minutes. Mr. Hardcore would like to say hello. He's also hardcore. He was the general manager over in GWC Intensity. And definitely would like to say keep doing what you're doing. I agree.
Thank you.
Alcohol. Congratulations to the Surge. Yes, definitely congratulations to the Surge. We'll definitely take this off the screen because I want to get to my next item of business. We'll see. I sent Mac the link, so let's see if Mac gets it. Until then, I'll obviously want to talk to you about the Carnage Cup very quickly. We'll buy Mac some time for Resurrection, but I have to ask you about the Carnage Cup because Jimmy was here about it. I know the outcome wasn't what it was, but talk to me about the experience in the Carnage Cup and just what was it like?
I'm gonna, man. My very first Carnage Cup, excitement, adrenaline filled trip going there. I was so excited for like 3-4 days prior to going. I mean, I couldn't sit still. I couldn't sleep really. And then I get there and the nerves were kicking in and I seen all these weapons and about 50% of them I never used before.
Really? 50%? Oh, okay.
And
A lot of creative stuff.
and I just went.
I know. I saw some of the clips.
I just put it in my head. Don't worry. Just go out there and do the damn thing. You get hurt, you get hurt. This is what you live for. And I fucking did it. And it was an amazing feeling. Second pay-per-view now. And it's great. IWA promotion, Deep South promotion is a family. It's a family promotion. Yeah, we kick the shit out of each other, but man, it's worth it at the end.
Well, by the way, that's your Ox McCoy wanted your Instagram handle. Your Instagram handle is Kato Controversial. So I just want to put that out there. Kato Controversial. That's your Instagram handle. But thank you, Ox. But I gotta ask you, you were nervous after what I just saw you go through in the All Wrestling Matters hardcore tournament when you wrestled Jimmy Controversy and Power Surge, and you were nervous?
Nervous because it was my very first experience with glass, the sheets of glass. And of course I was nervous. I was wrestling Neil Diamond Cutter.
Yeah, and Jimmy was talking about that. We talked about it in the show itself on Thursday before you guys wrestled it, sure.
What's crazy is he's a little younger than me, but he's been doing deathmatch his whole career practically. So to step foot in the ring with the likes of him was a little nerve-wracking. I mean, just that excitement feeling in the crowd, and I got my wife on my side, and it was an amazing time. I mean,
and you had this guy too there.
Mac.
Hello.
You had him there, How you feeling, Mac? How you doing, Mac 10, the landlord? You look good, Mac. You comb your hair now.
Still sore?
I'm sore. And Kato, bro, we could have made it to the end of the Woodrow Rumble, man, but you had to blindside me and throw me through that table.
And then Mac, Cage talking about the mutual respect you had, not so much anymore.
I had blood in my eye. I was trying to hit anybody and everybody, and you just happened to be there. I wanted to win it, dude. I'm sorry. What else you want me to say, dude?
I think Naomi's even no comment, but
she wanted me to win.
I mean, everybody's
what do you think? Naomi didn't want you to win? I'm sure she would want you to win. No, who else would you want to win?
We could have teamed up and got the other two big guys out of there and been perfectly fine and been able to win it. It would have came down to us, man.
Yeah, but you know what? Even after I threw you out, I got eliminated too. So don't feel bad. We just have to come together next time and work together.
Come together and work together. Kind of like a Beatles song there.
Because then we can beat the shit out of each other afterwards. After we eliminate everybody else, it's game on.
Exactly.
So that's our game plan for next time.
I got one question though. I got to break into it because we have somebody here, I think, from the Deathmatch Elite on Facebook page, which I want to say thank you for tuning in, by the way. Wrestle, lose. If you can't hit the sub button for me. Not that I need it, but hit the sub button for me. Juggalo Championship Wrestling Lunacy. You guys have any thoughts on that? I know Jimmy Controversy was not much fans of them. He did. He had a lot to say about them on Thursday's show, but
Well,
there's
thing that I think's kind of really funny because he is not Jimmy Controversy to me anymore.
Yeah.
No,
The word violent.
What do we call him now? Jimmy the Body?
Jimmy.
No.
Jimmy.
In the words of Violent J, he is Sergeant Cumnuts now.
Yep.
Well, we appreciate the reference. We'll not even say anything further on that. But he did kind of ask for it on Thursday's show because he was saying a lot about the body and saying different things about whatever it was. So maybe Jimmy asked for it. I mean, if it wasn't bad enough, you guys threw him in toxic water from Massachusetts. He had a thing there. Let's just say an object was put up certain things to a Mr. Controversy part,
I wish it was on the other reverse side. I wish Mickey Knuckles did it to him.
Well, maybe they'll be next year. Maybe they'll wait till next year's Carnage Cup, right? Because you guys hopefully will be there for next year, right?
Oh yeah, that's my home. I gotta show up to my home.
Oh man, you can't really tell how tore up my arm is on video.
Well, it looks like you had maybe some scabs. Let's just put it that way.
Let's put it this way. Mac fell asleep after his second day 2 match. Yeah, or no, it was day 1. He was pretty inebriated.
Oh, thank you for that word. I'll definitely with that word. But
wasn't the only one. Mickey was out there with it too.
Everybody was. All 3 of you were inebriated.
I gotta ask you guys. I know Jesse Daniels was here. I think we spoke about Mickey Knuckles, but how does Mickey Knuckles do what Mickey Knuckles do? I mean, I know Naomi's getting into that level, but I can't explain Mickey Knuckles. Maybe Wrestle News can tell me, but I cannot explain for the love of me how Mickey Knuckles does what Mickey Knuckles does.
I'll tell you like this.
Okay, tell me.
She does her thing on the road. She whoops ass. She's
You found that out
mother.
Firsthand, actually. You did find. That's why I had to ask.
Mac did, but she's a beast, man. She knows what she wants and she takes it.
And I just would have left me alone to get the damn hot sauce out of my eyes.
Well, you know what? At least your eyes didn't have the problem that Mr. Blanco had.
Oh, actually, it's not.
Oh, but still, I'm surprised he still has eyes. I won't ask you gentlemen about that, though. I won't ask you any further.
So let's go on to the first match of that day 1. Day 1, I wrestled Neil Diamond Cutter.
Yes.
Awesome. I mean, it was hands down a great death match. Gave it my all. Unfortunately, I came up a little short. Day 2 was awesome. I met Mac in the battle.
Mac, you were in Jimmy was talking about it in Jimmy's own way, the shitter match.
So you got the main Carnage Cup card for day 1, round 1, and then you had the free show that Tyler, the other guy that helps run IWA. And that was basically his show of just kind of throwing fun out there for everybody.
Yeah, and it was a blast to watch it, man. It was fun.
Dude, to everybody that stayed and watched that match, they were coming up to me as like, dude, that was a phenomenal, funny match.
It was
hardcore. We don't get too often, gentlemen. We don't get those too often.
It was great to see y'all just go out there and have fun with it, drink. I'll blame the referee and the ringside crew for throwing so many different liquors at you guys. It was insane.
Did you drink Mountain Dew at all, Mac, at Carnage Cup? How many Mountain Dews did you have?
Everybody was drinking Mountain Dew, but Oddly enough, I've actually cut back on the sugar intake here.
Wait, that's why you haven't done Sportzwire. You've been cutting off the Mountain Dews. Why have you been cutting off Mountain Dews? I don't want to know anything else anymore. Why have you been cutting Mountain Dews?
Well, I've cut a lot of sugars out of my diet because I'm in the cut phase of my diet right now. So a lot of the sugars, a lot of the bad carbs that create sugars in the body, I've cut a lot of that out.
Oh, you look better right now.
Jesus.
I've actually lost about 25 pounds this cut season.
Wow. You 20. That's why you are the deathmatch werewolf. You're a werewolf now.
But no, man, my diet went sideways when they started feeding me all those different liquors that night. Like we started off with moonshine, Tennessee honey. Turned around, we ran out of that because they were giving me small shots of it. So my dumb butt decided to grab the bottle from them and start drinking out the bottle.
Yeah, you grabbed the bottle of Jack Daniels and started running around.
It wasn't the Jack Daniels.
No,
it was Old Smoky's moonshine, Tennessee honey.
Oh, good.
Tennessee honey in Alabama. Who would have guessed the irony?
I know.
No, we were in Tennessee.
I know there was Jack Daniels and Fireball.
Yeah, we ran out of the Old Smokies. They handed us a beer, then turned around, was feeding us Fireball. Then they ran out of that, and we started getting Jack Daniels. Then we ran out of that and went back to Fireball.
You guys should have played that what's the song? Pitbull, Fireball. Dun, 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 dun.
All the liquor started tasting the same.
Oh, so almost maybe it did taste like Mountain Dew. But let me get to some comments, Mac. You haven't been here on Sportswire. People want to tune in. Zilla, by the way, is so happy you're back. Zilla is going to be your biggest fan, Mac. Zilla is so happy you're back on the show. So it's good to have you. It's good to have you. We might need you to be back on Sportswire, considering events outside of this platform these past 48 hours or so. But Xavier Thorne wants to give a big shout out. Good old Xavier Thorne. Obviously, you guys are here, so maybe no Xavier, but let's say hello to Thorne. Obviously, Thorne's in the house. No comment on Thorne. Vegas Storm, though, I don't know if you've met him, Mac 10, but he seems to be.
I've talked to him.
We've talked to him. Well, he liked to say this: every man for himself. I wonder, will the game plan work next time, or will someone turn on the other to win? I think he's also referring to your situations in Resurrection Wrestling, a deadly collision as well.
I think me and Mac have a mutual understanding now.
Mutual, but you didn't sound like it from what Mac just said here about 5 minutes ago.
A Rumble is, I'm going to be honest, man. I really wanted to win. I wanted to win. I'm sorry. I just wanted to win it.
You just wanted to win. Yeah, well, Mac just wants to win here too, right, Mac?
Man, if only we could do a lot of the stuff that we do at Carnage Cup at these shows, we could put on so much more of it.
It's okay in the future. I have a inkling we're gonna bring in some good names.
Yeah.
Oh, and Tom, if you go to my TikTok, you can see the what I'm referring to, what Kato did to me.
I can pull that up while we get that up on the screen. Your wish is my command. We'll do that here. I should have it. Give me like a minute or two while we'll watch the match. I should be able to pull it up. TikTok's a little slower, but we'll pull it up here, Mac. We'll pull it up for you any minute. I don't know why it's not pulling up. Okay, we'll go like this. Waiting
Look at
for
that bat. Look at that bat.
Fuck that bat. That bat actually hurts.
Well, we'll see here. Okay, I gotta find it here. Now I gotta find it. Well, give me a minute.
Second one on the top.
What, yours? TikTok? I don't.
Yeah.
What's your TikTok handle again? I don't know. I think I know.
Resurrection Mac is what the.
Oh, okay. That's why I'm getting confused. Okay, that's
you got the other one, don't you?
I was like, why am I looking at the Instagram versus that? Okay, so I'm gonna take this. Well, you want me to, Kato might want to keep this for a minute.
You know what? Take it off. Are you referring to the clips of Carnage Cup?
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll pull it up. Pull it up. I got it. Give me 2 seconds.
Start with Neil and then to the Rumble.
Okay, so where are we going here?
The second one.
This one here?
Yeah. This thing.
I have to pause that because I can't have the volume up. They'll lose the copyright. Go like not this one here.
Yep, that's that one.
Okay. Oh, there we go. There you go. You two gentlemen are. And we'll repost it actually. So I think I did repost it. I actually did repost this. I don't even remember reposting this. And there you are, Mac. Mac, how are you here still on Sportswire, Mac? How are you still here?
Oh, that's one of the least crazy spots that I did during the week.
What's the next one? Do you have the next one? Should I play the next one?
That one was from night one.
Well,
What you can't see is there's a table, there's a glass table underneath.
I just reposted it, Mac.
Why don't you go to my Facebook and play?
I might be able to go on. I can't log into Facebook on my computer. If I can, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it. If I can do it, I'll put it up on Facebook. Last night we had this problem on Facebook, and
well, Mac, why don't you send it to him real quick? Send them two clips.
I might be able to play it. Give me 1 second. All right, let me pull it up. Tell me where, because I can play it very quickly. It'll be very quick. Let me pull it up here. I got it. Okay, real quick. I'm gonna run to it. I can play it. All right, give me 2 seconds. Let's go like this. Are we talking about this video here?
No, there was the. I don't think I posted it. Neil Diamond cover.
You're getting this there though, Mac. You Mac and Kato Yeah. Did you have surgery rather than wrestle here?
So
that was my first ever. Yeah. That was my first ever barbed wire net, and damn, that sucks.
Well, that definitely
happened seconds after he threw me through the glass. He went to the top rope, and Tommy Trainwreck decided to grab a bundle of tubes and just whack the shit out of him with it, and he went flying off the top rope.
Well, it was live without a net here. We'll put it that way. Let me get to some comments here. My buddy Ace Reed from Australia like to say hello. Zilla says hi to Mickey Knuckles, but Mickey Knuckles isn't here. That'll be a good interview. That'll be a wild interview on Sportswire. Mickey Knuckles on Sportswire. Could you imagine that?
I could talk to her for you, Tom.
Yeah, we both know her.
We might actually need her for security on Sportswire. If we don't need more security. Yes.
So a thing about Mickey in the semifinals, what not a lot of people have realized, she was having a bar fight with Michael Kruger, right?
Okay.
And the bar fight happened, and the entire time her shoulder was dislocated.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Yep. She wrestled.
We don't know it. We're under sworn secrecy here because we only had the first two. I think the first day results were posted and the second day results were posted.
All the results have been posted.
I only saw day 2 on Instagram though. They didn't give
all the results have been posted.
Oh well, thank you for letting us know. But nevertheless, would you like to? And you guys want to be in Carnage Cup once again, right?
Oh yeah, man. We're definitely gonna be there. They're in the mix of trying to figure out to do more shows, hopefully.
We're talking about possibly in December doing a show.
So what's next for you guys, though? I get the sense sort of there's mutual respect. I know there'll be some Resurrection Wrestling stuff coming up. I'm sure Ronnie talked about this weekend. It'll be airing. I'm sure there'll be other Resi events. I'm sure you guys will find a way to be together in some form or another. So what's next for you two as we're here for the remaining minutes of the show? Because I know you both are busy men planning your next hardcore death match, your next death you're going to put somebody through or a table or whatever it might be. I don't know. But what's next for you two gentlemen?
I want more gold. That's what's next.
But you already got gold, and Mac even was so nice enough to give you gold without actually winning it. That was so kind of you, Mac. That's why you are the landlord. You're a good landlord, Mac. You're a good landlord.
So there's a thing with that, and there was a stipulation of him getting that back.
Yep.
Yes. Well.
So y'all caught a little bit of it at
Deadly Collision.
No, not Deadly Collision. The NEW show.
Oh yes. Well, the time frame was. I think the All Wrestling Matters was first, and then Deadly Collision was second, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, the time frame, yes, it might have been first, but we were working through some stuff, and
well, you were working
and
through something.
it's kind of come to fruition and kind of come around.
And it happened. It started and again it continued after Deadly Collision, and it continued into somewhat before I threw you out at Carnage Cup.
Well, let me
But
plug
again,
As soon as he threw me off the apron, he knew what he was doing because he turned around and looked at me and said, "Sorry, brother." I was like, "What the fuck, man? Come on now."
Well, let's hope nobody can be sorry and hit the sub button for our friends at Resurrection Wrestling, because they're at 652 subs, and I want to get them to 653, 654, 655, and so on and so on. And how long was Carnage Cup? It was 2 days, right?
2 gruesome days.
2 gruesome days.
And cold nights.
Yeah,
very
very
Cold,
freaking
but you
cold.
guys know, New York this last weekend was warm. It was like I was in shorts and a tee. I'm still in shorts.
It was
and a
like,
tee.
well, during the day it was warm, but at night, man, it was in the 30s. It was cold.
Really? Wow. Oh my
It was
goodness.
about 40, but
It was 30. It was 38 that first night.
Wow.
I screwed up and I forgot to bring our quilts and pillows, so we ended up car sleeping.
I think all of us did. I think there was like 3 people that actually slept in their tents.
Yeah,
What's warmer?
I mean, shoot, Sedisto's truck was a whole lot warmer. He brought a U-Haul to haul all their stuff, and man, they were sleeping in the U-Haul with a heater.
yeah. I'm gonna bring my heater next time.
Well, you got to remember, we're working off a 110 outlet plug out there.
No. I'm gonna get a small generator. That way, when we're camping, we have power.
But okay, well, we'll obviously find out. I mean, we'll certainly find out. But hopefully, you won't have to do tent sleeping and car sleeping anytime soon again. I would hope, right?
No. Next thing on my list is Kansas in 2 weeks.
Kansas. Are you also tagging along, Mac, or no?
You might not. You might never know.
You might never know. But Kansas, it's well, interesting. Kansas, back in Kansas, and I'm sure we're going to see you guys more in Resurrection Wrestling ahead. And
yeah, in fact, they're doing a cancer benefit for a young lady named Katrina. Not Resurrection. Kansas.
That's Kansas, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I heard Kansas.
Kansas. A lot of mishaps and downfalls this year, and that's one thing that's great about that show is they look after the people that come to their shows and support them. If they need help, they help them out the best they can.
And that's obviously, we want to support that. We have a show Friday here on Sportswire Radio for our friends in the UK that we're doing. We're doing a show based on that to help out with autism. And we want to certainly mention you guys in the UK, because Kato Mac has obviously now wants to wrestle in the UK. So he wants me to message my friends in the UK that are here Friday night, their time, that he's open for the UK. So that means you would have to tag along also, right, Mac? You definitely have to
I would tag along for that.
You would tag along? You would, but we'll make sure Jimmy Controversy's not going to tag along either, right? Definitely.
I'm going to tell you this. If he decides he wants to tag along, I'm going to destroy him like I did the last time.
Hey, we might just throw him out of the airplane.
He's lucky I didn't. He's lucky I didn't get my hands on him this time.
Well,
There in the Carnage Cup, because man, I could have interjected into that round 2 because he decided he wanted to hurt the body after round 1 and weasel his way into round 2. But I was like, no, Mickey's in there. Mickey can handle him.
Well, he declared a victory. He believed he was going to win the Carnage Cup, Jimmy. Jimmy was here Thursday, and he was talking as if like he was fighting for his values. He was fighting for basically what he believes in, and this was personal. That's what he said on Thursday's show. He was talking about values. It was fighting for his personal beliefs, and everything was different now. It was a different Jimmy controversy. It was more serious tone he had, and and I had him literally, guys. And get this, I had him literally right before he was going out to Tennessee. I literally had him like just right before he was about to pack, and he didn't even want to be here very long. He was only here for like 45 minutes. He just didn't want to talk about nothing. All he wanted to talk about was serious and personal, and
he got scared.
It backfired.
He got scared.
You want to talk about people changing course? Jimmy has to change course. I don't know what Jimmy's going to do. I really don't know.
Man, I'm sorry. Even if Jimmy would have made it into the finals, there was no way he would have won that Gauntlet finals match.
Well, he wasn't winning, and that's for sure. But, before I sign off with you, gentlemen, you haven't seen this photo since you've been on here, and I wanted to get your hardcore deathmatch expertise on it. But that was the last time I actually didn't have mutton chops. So I thought you gentlemen would actually want to see that because,
Man, I spent a month and a half not looking at that photo. Come on now.
Oh, you did look at it? I haven't seen you on Sportswire. I didn't know you actually looked at it, but I
looked at it a few times, Tom.
Oh, you did? I was like, I didn't know, but now I've got you back on the show. I'm like, let me get your opinions. Maybe not. We'll move on then. Okay, fair enough. But okay, well, fine. But,
I'm just gonna say this: you look better with them.
Oh, you know what's funny? I thought the same thing. Actually, I thought that the same thing. That was the last time before I had no mutton. It was 6 years ago. So it's that's before, literally right before I started sports. I know it's getting late for you guys, so I got to ask you guys this. Yes. Yes. Oh, okay. So
No, go ahead.
So I know we're obviously getting late into the show, so I want to ask you guys, and is there anything else I should know about, any other final things you want to talk about before we say sayonara for now? But I know you guys will be back real soon.
We're in the mix of getting Naomi ready for some more in-ring action, not like
I saw some of the highlights. I saw what we just saw at NEW.
I'll tell you right now, my wife can take an ass whooping and still keep ticking. She is just like me.
I would never go into the ring with your wife. Your wife would probably beat up like 80% of the people that come on sports.
I mean, she turned around and took that cake to the face from Mickey. Man, that cake was good and all, but man, she wasted that cake.
Well,
I tried to lift it off his shoulder, but I got yelled at because I also took a light tube to the face, which I was not expecting. So kind of forgot about it and was like, "Oh, cake!"
Like I said, pretty soon you'll be in Carnage Cup. That's pretty much what I learned.
Maybe, you never know. I would full cookie, that's for sure.
Well, we'll find out. Obviously, we'll definitely find out. A lot to talk about. Resurrection has some elevation shows coming up. We have Kato going to Kansas in a charity show. Mac will always be around doing something. Mac is going to be back on Sportswire soon. We have more Resurrection wrestling coverage coming up. We have Jacoby coming back on. Who knows what he'll have to say? I don't know. He's coming back. He wants to be back. What do you say? I can't say no. I mean, this isn't, I can't say no. Jacoby's going to be here. Ronnie was here. Ronnie was here Monday. I know you heard about that, Mac. Ronnie was certainly saying things. Ronnie, but Ronnie's got his own problems with Jack Spade. And I'm not even going to ask you about what happened on Saturday's show with Jack Spade. I'm not even going to go there. Yeah, we'll not go there. Let's not go there. Exactly.
Yeah, don't go there because I saw the clips and stuff after that while we were at Carnage Cup. I was half drunk and that shit pissed me off.
And I got to tell you, I do want to put it out there. I did strongly condone that, but I want to say I came out against it and I was with Jack Spade on that one. And Jack Spade knows that. And he did say that. Now, speaking of people that are individuals that are interesting, Mr. Brightside. His name is Mr. Brightside. He's basically like the better version of the Joker. I know that the Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, one bombed, but now he's doing things in Iowa. Obviously, our friends in Iowa and the IMF, and he's been there, and he's here on Halloween. Trick or treat. We have a Brightside who looks like a Joker. Trick or treat. He's here. Really? That's my Halloween guest, I guess. Trick or treat. Trick or treat. He's here. They'll be here Halloween evening. And also, Xavier Thorne wants to say, Kato, my wife, Viper Ray Thorne, idolized Naomi with her hardcore career, would like to face you. That's You never know. Never say never. Never say never. Anything's possible. And
Never
thank
say
you for the baby.
never.
Yeah, I do have a baby Tom photo, but we'll get that for a different time. All right, let's get to closing thoughts. I think the time is right. We've talked a lot. We talked about All Wrestling Matters, Kato and Power Surge. We talked about Jimmy Controversy as always. We talked about Resurrection. We talked about Carnage Cup and anything else do you lovely individuals have final thoughts or words on?
I just want to say thank you, Tom. Always a pleasure to be on your
You
show.
needed the show tonight because I really was like, I didn't want to talk about what's been going on the last 48 hours. And I'm like, I haven't said anything on it. You know, it's been out
No,
there.
it's crazy, man. I just wish people would check themselves more often and realize some of the things that they say can fuck with them. But
Yeah.
better news.
Good. Give me better news, please.
You know, things are looking up for me. The UK is in the works.
Bro, I'm
Hopefully
here Friday
soon.
night, my first UK show in 5 months. I'm going to talk with Mr. Barris. He's a big supporter of mine. He's back. They're back on Sportswire.
And I just want to say, dude, thank you, Tom, allowing us to be part of this show and talk and get things out in the open and talk about matches and what wrestling really is. And that's you, Tom.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And I always love, you know what? I love everybody coming on. You know, 90% to 95% of the people I've ever had on never had a problem. Everybody's always been so Resi. We've had a great relationship with Resi the past year. I got people in here, you know, Thorn is great. I got Zilla, I got Brightside, I got Ox. I mean, I love almost everybody that comes on here, but unfortunately, you know, there are, you know, one or two people, you know, and that's how, like anything else, you know, but I love having everybody on. You know, we talk about backyard, underground. I had a pro wrestler yesterday. I have a pro wrestler from Arizona Sunday. Tomorrow I have 2 pro wrestlers coming. I mean, I love giving everybody a chance, and that's really what all we want to do is talk wrestling, and it's why these last couple of weeks, you know, if you're a backyard wrestling fan, it's been a firestorm. I don't want to say a shitstorm, but it's a firestorm, and you know, like I just want to give people an opportunity. I just want to talk wrestling. And I think by and large, 90% of the people that come on my platform agree. And it's just, we got to move on. We will. The best is yet to come. A rising tide will always lift all boats. Mac 10, Kato, and Naomi will definitely be that. And Resurrection will be right there with us. And of course, we've got here the reigning defending Resurrection Wrestling Hardcore Champion and the BMF Hardcore Champion, the one and only controversial one, Kato, and the Deathmatch Werewolf, the landlord of Sportswire Radio. Mac 10 is triumphantly back. And never forget about Naomi the Nightmare, because she'll give you nightmares if you get in her way with those light tubes. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters here on Sportswire Radio. And yeah, Mr. Brightside, I love Mr. Brightside. Yeah, he's back on Sportswire next week. And yeah, it's about wrestling, man. It's about wrestling. That's what we're doing the last 4 days. It's been wrestling. It's Monday.
Now,
Ronnie was here Monday. Yesterday we had a pro wrestler, and you guys are back. So
I do have one thing to say on the IWA behalf right now. Like, I mean, yes, we had some technical difficulties with the live stream for Carnage Cup this year. The Wi-Fi wasn't as great this year, but we are in the works of recovering a lot of the footage that was lost during the live stream mishaps and stuff, and it should be back posted on StreamXPW, and there was another website that is going to get posted too here in the next couple of days. The whole edited version of Carnage Cup should be up, and I believe if you bought the live stream package, with all the rewatches and stuff, I believe you should be getting the package that we're going to release in the next couple of days for free.
We would definitely want to encourage people to do that. We support our friends in XPW. We've worked well with different guys that come on, including yourself. So we definitely encourage that. And one more time, let me give a big plug to Resurrection, especially for Resurrection and their support of us here on Sportswire. let's make sure you hit the sub button for our friends at Resurrection. I want to get them to 653, 54, 55, 56, and so on for subscribers. So please support them. Support Mac 10. Support Kato. Kato's on Instagram at Kato Controversial. Mac 10 is on TikTok. Resurrection Mac 10. Support them. You're supporting us by doing that. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally where all wrestling matters. If you're on Sportswire Radio, you're going back to your regularly scheduled programming, and I'll be back here coming up tomorrow around 8:30 with DVG and Thomas Taft, Mr. T3 himself. I'll also be here Saturday night with a slew of other guests, and Friday, 3 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock UK time. Our friends in Colory Community Wrestling will talk about their historic charity show. So until then, thank you, everybody, for your support. Thank you for all you've done for us here and are making our community as strong as it's ever been. The community as strong as it's ever been, ladies and gentlemen. So until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one global radio station that is Sportswire.